So the government has made another pointless decision lately, and now if you've got any chickens, ducks, quails, geese, etc., you've got to register them. It used to be if you only had 50 or more, but obviously everyone knows that 5 chickens in your back garden's the problem, and not the 50,000 birds that they keep in one shed. I can tell you why that is straight away from my experience of the egg industry in the past, and that is so the big companies can stop smaller people starting their own little flocks and selling eggs to whoever they like. I can guarantee that'll be the next piece to be added to that legislation, that if you've got any chickens and you want to sell the eggs to other people, you'll have to register that part of a business too, even though you're just Joe Bloggs and you've got 6 extra eggs you want to give to your neighbour. The egg industry is kind of sewn up, and most people wouldn't really believe this, but about 95% of the eggs in this country are all controlled by one company. If that's not a monopoly. And you will have seen all the hype around bird flu before, and in my opinion, mostly nonsense. All that does is enable all these big farms of 30,000+ birds, they're all owned by one company, to make more money in effect, because they keep the birds inside for X amount of months of the year now, which means they don't have to spend as much money on feeding them, the chickens don't move around as much, or don't waste as much energy, and they lay more eggs. You'll get the notifications of where various bird diseases have been found on farms, and I can tell you for a fact, it is only ever the meat farms, and it is only ever the places that are huge, I'm talking like 1 million birds on a farm, that ever have any sort of discovery. All the egg farms are under the same legislation as the meat farms, so all the birds have to be kept inside, which the meat ones are anyway, but now all of a sudden all the laying flocks are now inside, and like I say, costing less to run, producing more money. 100% this new law is just another way for them to squeeze the market, I guess. If there's 1,000 less people selling eggs, then that's 1,000 more boxes of eggs they're going to be able to sell a day. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but from first hand I've seen when this all first started how it's closed various different small, I'd say small, 3,000 seems like a lot, but it's not a lot of chickens. Small chicken farms like myself shut down because of the way that the monopoly system works. All of the big farms are on contracted, locked-in feed prices for the entirety of the flock, whereas a farm like myself would have to buy food monthly, every couple of months, etc., and our feed price would go up and down. So when this all first started happening was post-Brexit, feed prices shoot up, egg price goes about the same. All these big companies that have already got their margins in place for 2 years ahead of time, still making the same money. All the small people like myself, margins squeezed, no money there anymore, have to think about shutting your business down, etc., etc. Therefore, that gap in the market that people like me are producing now gets squeezed into the market that the 95% already occupy. And I ultimately know the manpower in the people that are actually in charge of checking on this, sort of whether people have registered or not, really isn't there. So do yourself a favour, get some chickens if you want, and be producing some lovely little eggs every day.